My alarm just went off in the middle of that. Hello. Oh, I look very pale here. But I have been reading ACOWAR in the last couple of days. I am not where I just finished. Hold on. Hello. It is Friday. Oh my god, I have no idea what it is. Okay, we're gonna try that again. Hi everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with another reading vlog. So it's week 2 of the Whateverathon reading vlog. I'm actually recording this literally seconds after the last one ended because I'm not going to have time tomorrow morning to actually start this vlog. So I thought I'd come on here real quick, tell you what I'm bringing into the week, what I'm planning on doing this week, because I have some reading plans this week. So, as you saw last week, I started Witch Hat Atelier Volume 1, about 70 pages into this. I'm planning on reading this tonight before I go to bed, and again some more tomorrow, so I expect to finish this one relatively quickly, but that's really the only one that I'm bringing in. I have technically started Deal with an Elf King, but I think I'm going to put this on hold for the week just because I'm reading the ACOTAR series, and there's a lot of similarities between these two, and I don't want to get them confused in my head. So I've technically read this. I'm on chapter 7, about 45 pages into it. Very, very intrigued, but I'm going to hold off just so that everything makes sense and I don't get confused. But my main reading plans for the week. Very excited. Tomorrow, Monday, I'm going to be starting a buddy read, and that is The Evil Queen by Jenna Showalter. This is a buddy read with my lovely friend Taylor over on Bookstagram. We'll leave her linked down below. She's the one that I also read all the Maya Banks books with, so we'll be doing another buddy read with her sometime later this month with one of those books. But this is kind of a retelling of the story of the Evil Queen from Snow White. Kind of her, like, introduction story, if you will. I don't actually know. I haven't read the back, so we'll read that before we start. But I bought this book because I saw it on her stories or something, and I said, that sounds really interesting. So I picked it up, and then now we're buddy reading it, and I'm so excited. So that's what I'm going to start my week off with, is this one. I'm very excited about that. I don't remember what this stands in for. Let's actually investigate that. I know it's a prompt that I have on my TBR, which is to read a book you bought recently or something like that, but I don't remember what it stands in for this readathon. So this is a book that I hauled in last year, which is great because I definitely picked this one up like last month or in April, I think. I did it in that Come Online Book Shopping with Me, so very recently. But yeah, I'm going to start my week off with this, and then the last few days of the week I'm actually working from home because my boss is out of town, and so I don't have a whole lot to do in the office, and so I'll be working from home, and I will have some free time, so I'm going to pick up ACOWAR. I just finished ACOMAF in the last vlog, and I am doing spoilery vlogs of these, so you'll see this probably in July sometime. But I wanted to give myself a few days, so I'm going to try to finish this before I pick this one up, so I'm not entirely sure. It depends on how long this takes to complete, 2 or 3 days, we'll see. Maybe a little bit longer. It's a thick boy. But I will be picking this one up and doing a spoilery vlog of this because I'm had lots of feelings after the last one. I loved the last one so much, so I really, really want to pick the next one up. And I know it's the tiniest bit. Yeah, it's definitely like not quite 100 pages longer, but like 80 pages longer than the last one. It's also a thick one, but I do have the audiobook of both of these, so that will help me out. But I wanted to give myself a couple of books in between, give myself time to process what happened in ACOMAF, and then we're going to go right into ACOWAR, so that's exciting. And then over the weekend, I'm actually having another buddy read, because I really like buddy reads. I didn't know if you know this about me. I love buddy reads. I will happily buddy read all of the things, but I'm going to be doing Comet Tumbling Down by Shauna McGuire, and this is a buddy read with my lovely friend Teresa over on her channel, Teresa Love. This is the 5th in her Wayward Children's series. This one particularly follows Jack and Jill from the first book, and it takes place directly after the events of the first book. The second book is kind of their origin story, if you will, as to how they came to the world. So this one takes place both in their world as well as in The Home for Wayward Children, and Jack is my favorite character, so I'm so excited to read more about her and Jill and her world, and I love them so much. So I'm so excited to get into this one. So I do have the audiobook of this as well, but this will be like over the weekend. We like to read half on a Saturday, half on Sunday, so that'll be kind of closer to the weekend. But yeah. Oh, I didn't tell you what these were for. So this was in for a buddy read. Look at me. And then Ack of War is for a 5-star prediction, because I've loved the other two. Expect that one to also be 5 stars. So this is my plan for the week. I have some big thick boys in this week, and that's really it. Like, the rest of the month is just kind of like what I'm feeling, but I have like buddy reads and plans for this week, so we'll see how I do at the end of this, if I can finish 2 very large books. And also I think I'll get through. This will be the one that I question. I think I can get through this week, no problem. It's this one on whether or not I will actually have time to read this, because it takes over my life, basically. Once I get into those books, I just devour them, and everything is fine. So yeah, that's my plan for the week. I'll take you along, as I usually do, through my week, and we'll talk more once I've read some things. And yeah, come on the journey of week 2 of a Whatever You Want-a-thon. Very excited. It's Wednesday. I've thought it's Friday all day, and my brain is very confused because I work from home on Fridays, and so my brain is like, oh, because you're at home, it's Friday, which is not the case. But I'm here because I do have some updates for you. So I have actually finished the first volume of Witch Hat Atelier. I haven't put this through co-pile quite yet, but I expect it to be about a 4-star. This was quite a lot of fun. I liked the world, I liked the kind of magic system and what it comes from, because it's not quite what you would expect it to be. It does kind of have like magic school kind of vibes, because our main character Coco has become an apprentice in this book, and so she's learning about the magic world and going to like fancy magical shops and stuff like that. But there's also this like what I expect will turn into the chosen one trope underneath it all. So I expect the next few volumes, especially based on like where this ended, to kind of like dive deeper into that, because there's something about Coco that like the guy that she's apprenticing and like the world seems to know about, but like she doesn't quite understand. So yeah, this was just quite a lot of fun. I wish it was colored, just because like the art is stunning. And like most mangas I know are not colored illustrations. They're black and white, which is fine, but just like based on the cover alone, I wish the rest of it was as colorful as that. But it was very good. I do want to continue with this series. I don't know when I'm going to continue. It's one of those that, like, it did end on a cliffhanger, but I don't feel like I need to immediately find the next one. So I will continue with this series for sure. I just don't know when I'm gonna get around to it. So yeah, this is definitely, this series is definitely going to be one that I enjoy. Just don't know when I'm going to continue it. But I haven't finished this one. I don't actually know what this fit in for. So give me a second and I'll tell you. So this one was on my TBR game, TBR, so like that was great, but it also fit the prompt of out of your comfort zone, because I am still trying to figure out what mangas work for me and what doesn't. So I have a lot of first volumes of mangas right now, and I've read a lot of contemporary but not fantasy. So this is one of the fantasy ones that I have started. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. So yay, another one done. But I do have a couple of more updates, I guess, for you. I have been reading The Evil Queen by Jenna Showalter this week. I haven't read today's portion yet. Taylor, my friend who I'm reading this with, and I are trying to finish this by the end of the week. So there are about 45 chapters in here, and so we calculated if we read 9 chapters a day, that we will finish on Friday, and that's when her new June candle release comes out, and so that'll give her like the weekend to do whatever she needs to do with that. And then this will also help her, because we're both listening to the audiobook of it, kind of like while she's pouring. But I haven't read today's portion yet, so I am on chapter 19, which is 250-ish pages in. So I think I'm not quite halfway, but like very close to halfway. And I need to get to, math. So I need to get to 27 today. However, she's a little behind, and I'm about to get a little behind by the book that I'm about to show you. So in theory, I should get to page 338, so like that little chunk today. So maybe we will. That feels like very small compared to what we've read so far, which makes me think that maybe we should have done this by page number and not chapter, because I feel like a lot of the ones in the back here are going to be really short, and all the thick, like the big ones were in the front. But that is all beside the point. This is, I've been kind of telling that this is a retelling of the Evil Queen story from Snow White, which is true, but there's so much more to that. That's just kind of like the general blanket statement that I've been saying about this book. So this book follows our main character, Everly, and she has grown up in the mortal world and has found out that there's this other world called Enchantia, and that's where her mom is from, and that's where she is actually from. And in Enchantia, they have stories like Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, those kinds of things, except for they're not fairy tales. They are kind of predictions for the future. And so it has been told that her fairy tale is the Snow White fairy tale. And so she is stressed because she has the ability to kind of look at mirrors and like do like see stuff with mirrors. And obviously the Evil Queen normally in the Snow White story has that ability. So she is very stressed, but at the same time, these stories are never exactly how they seem. So, you know, when it says, like, for example, let's say in some fairy tale someone dies, it could be not actual death. It could be like a being reborn, and so like starting your life over or something like that as somebody else could be the equivalent of death in like that fairy tale. So not everything is exactly as it seems. So she thinks that she's met the Prince Charming character in the story and is having some severe feelings for him. This is one of the strongest starts to a book I've ever read, because it starts with the prologue, which is kind of like, you know, telling some things that happened at the end of the story and then going back and telling the story. But it's so strong and descriptive. I don't know how to explain it to you, but like it is like a severe hook. So like if I was doing, for example, the try a chapter tag, this would make me immediately want to read this book because it's such a strong opening. The writing is very funny. Our main character is so sassy and has like very snarky comments to everything in the world, and it's just making her really relatable. And at first it's a little shocking because this world is a fairy tale world, so you have all the fairy tale vibes to it, and then you have this girl who is thinking very modern things because she was born, or like she grew up in the mortal world, and so she has kind of normal things that like you and I would have had or have right now, and then in like Enchantia those things don't exist, like, you know, electricity, cell phones, things like that. And so she just has very snarky thoughts about things that are happening around her. It's just really entertaining, and I would say this is, I'm not sure I would categorize this as new adult, but I would think that this is pretty high up as far as like YA goes. It's definitely older YA, just because of some of the thoughts that she has in here. There are so many sexual innuendos in this book that if you didn't know, you could just breeze across and like not think twice about. But I think it's very obvious that they are there. But it's very entertaining. And one thing that I felt like this book reminded me of something, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I was thinking it kind of reminded me of how I felt about the first School for Good and Evil, of kind of how there's this kind of forest in the book, and you're also trying to fit a story, because that whole series is about kind of it was called a story, and it's a pen that writes stories, and like that's a big portion of that series, whereas this is all about like fitting the story that's already been written. And so there's like a similarity there. So I think if you wanted kind of more adult with the same feelings as School for Good and Evil, this is a good book. But Taylor pointed out that this feels like that old TV show on ABC, Once Upon a Time. And I 100% agree that if you like Once Upon a Time and the feel of that show and kind of the like magical elements, especially when they went into like the Enchanted Forest portions of that show, you would love this book. It has so many of the same feelings, so many of the same vibes, but like that is the vibe. So if you like that show and that vibe, and this is your thing. This is a lot of fun. I'm very much enjoying my time at reading it. It definitely gives me all those fun vibes. This is the first in a duology, so that's kind of exciting. So yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this. I'm having quite a lot of fun reading it with Taylor, and I need to read some more for the rest of the week. So I don't expect to give you a whole lot of updates on this until I finish it, even though I do have quite a lot left to go. We're now kind of in the portions that I can't really tell you about because spoilers, but yeah, I am definitely enjoying that. But today I had this plan for this next few days, but I think the mood reader in me is very happy because like all of a sudden yesterday I really wanted to pick up this book, and that is ACOWAR, A Court of Rings and Ruin, which is the third in the ACOTAR series. I just really want to start this book. It's been calling to me. I wanted to start it last night and I almost did, and then I didn't for some reason, and I don't know why. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna dedicate the next 3 days since I'm at home. Even though I am working, but in between the times of me working, I'm going to be picking this one up. But I'm very excited because of how the second one ended. I, for lack of a better word, am shooketh. Because like, I'm not even kidding you, like something happened and then we had 2 chapters left, and each chapter was only like a page long, and then that completely changed the thing that had just happened, and so my brain is struggling, but I need to know what's gonna happen in here. So for the next couple of days, these are my priorities. I would love to finish both of these before the weekend because I do have a buddy read this weekend, which I think I told you about with my friend Teresa, but that's a really short book, so that'll be great. But also it is my brother-in-law's birthday this weekend, so we will be going down to celebrate with him and family, so we'll see what happens this weekend. This will probably be the shortest vlog out of all of these, just based on kind of what's happening. I want to be in the moment. I don't really want to worry about vlogging this weekend. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, these would be lovely to finish both of these by Friday. So I'm going to go start these instead of, you know, talking to you about that. We'll get probably to this portion at some point today, but I'm going to start this because I need to. I need to. actually expect to update you today, but I do actually have some reading updates, so I'm going to do that first. But I got a box in the mail, and it's for me, but I haven't ordered anything, so I don't actually know what this is. So I thought it might be fun to open this with all of you, because I have no idea where this came from. But before we get into that, let me grab the books and talk to you about them. So I have been reading The Evil Queen all week. I know I came on at the very, very beginning of the week to kind of tell you what it's about. The feelings are very much the same. I'm about 80%. You know what? Looking at this makes me think I'm closer to 90% of the way done. But I'm on chapter 38 out of 45, and I'm on page 462. And I've been buddy reading this with my friend Taylor, like I mentioned at the beginning of this week. However, her candle launch just happened, and she was significantly busier this week, and I kind of started reading ACOTAR and stopped paying attention to how many chapters I was reading a day. I said ACOTAR, I meant ACOWAR. So we've both decided to hold off on this one until the beginning of next week. So I'm not going to read this at all this weekend, but I'm really enjoying it. It does have kind of a slow start because once our main character kind of steps into this new world, she's kind of doing a little bit of a traveling thing through the forest with a couple of other characters that she has recently met, and that part's kind of boring. But about halfway through the book, it really starts to pick up, at least for me. It just like went go, go, go. And she's learning about this world. She's learning about her magical abilities. She's trying to not be the evil queen, but like everyone wants her to be the evil queen. And so there's like a whole thing with her wanting to like stand up for herself, but also not wanting to be thought of as evil just because she fits like this stereotype for the evil queen, considering all the people around her fit other specific characters within that narrative. So I'm very fascinated because I was creeping online, and there is a sequel to this, which I'm not sure if I've mentioned that yet, but there is a sequel. And so I thought, oh no, her story's not going to be done in this book. However, I creeped a little bit on the sequel, and it looks like it's going to be about a completely different set of characters. It looks like it's going to take the Cinderella story, set in the same world. Some of the characters in that series have the same last name as kind of the Prince Charming character in this series, so they're all related. I'm just not entirely sure if it's like Prince Charming's mother or if it's going to be like the descendants after what happens at the end of this book. But I don't have very much to go, and so I will finish this one on Monday, but I'm going to hold off on this for the weekend because I'm not going to be reading that much this weekend. I'm actually not even sure if I'm going to vlog that much this weekend because it is my brother-in-law's birthday, so we're going up and hanging out with family, and I don't actually know how much I'm going to vlog. I'm probably just going to be in the moment. But that's beside the point of I'm not going to finish this in this vlog, but I will finish it probably on Monday. And I expect this to get 4.5 or 5 stars, to be honest. I will say this has definitely changed to new adult. I don't think it's YA anymore. I think it's young new adult, but there's just a lot of gore and like gross fighting scenes that are in this book, as well as a lot of, I think I mentioned this before, of like there's a lot of sexual innuendos, but then they're like significantly, I don't know, there's like one scene specifically that's about halfway through that quite literally is just a makeout scene, but just some of the things that are said and hinted at, not very well hinted, mostly just said, feel very not YA to me, so I'm gonna go with this being more of new adult than YA or like super, super, super high YA. But I'm really enjoying this one. So that one has been exciting. So we'll finish that next week, but I have been reading ACOWAR in the last couple of days. I am not where I just finished. Hold on. So I'm 276 pages into the book, so like a third of the way through maybe. I would have liked to get significantly farther along in this than I am, but I just didn't. But I very much have enjoyed this book. It's so good. My heart is happy. I basically plowed through the first like 150 pages, almost 200 pages in the first day, because my husband knows that when these books come out, based on my experience with the last two, they consume my life. And he was like, it's okay, I'm gonna watch a game and you can read, it's all right. And I was like, I appreciate you, because there was a specific thing that I just wanted to see happen, and it happened within like the first 150 pages. I'm gonna take this one with me this weekend, but who knows if I'm gonna read it, because this weekend I'm going to dedicate to Come Tumbling Down by Shauna McGuire. I mentioned this before, I've already taken the dust jacket off, but this is my buddy read with Teresa. We're gonna read this half on Saturday, half on Sunday. I do have an audiobook of this, so it's very easy for me to get through these. But if I can get to, I think I charted it out of halfway being about chapter 8, yeah, which is 104, 105 pages in, then I will be good to go. So these two are my priorities this weekend. I will for sure finish this one. We'll see if I finish that one. And then Evil Queen will be next week. So those are my kind of updates. Having great reading so far. But I need to know what's in this box, because I didn't order anything. The only thing that I have that's coming to the house is a pre-order that doesn't come out for another 2 weeks, and it's not from Amazon. It's from a totally different, wow, I'm really good at this. It's from Bookshop. Also ignore the fact that I'm holding these really weirdly because I just painted my nails. And so I'm trying to not mess up that. I did a terrible job of opening this. Ooh! Oh look, it's in like a fun little, that's so cute. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Look at that! Okay, so it's a book. That's so sweet! Oh my goodness. I don't want to take it out of, I've never gotten, hold on, I'm getting way too excited. I've never gotten an Amazon parcel that has been gift wrapped before. This is so cute. I don't want to open it. So here's a little note on the front. Let's see what it says, shall we? It's from Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth. So this is amazing retelling that is absolutely believable, at least to me. Oh my god, I know exactly what book this is. I'm so happy right now. Okay, I'm gonna ruin my nails, but I don't even care. Thank you so much. You did not have to do that. And I'm so excited. I might have to read this next month, because how on earth do I open it? There we go. Ooh, it's in tissue paper. They went like, Amazon went all out. I'm just saying. Okay. Ooh, it's thicker than I thought it was going to be. I am so excited. Oh my god, it's so pretty. So it's The Other Bennett Sister by Janice Hadlow, which is a retelling of Mary Bennett from Pride and Prejudice, kind of like retelling her story. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I read a very similar book called Mary B. the end of June. Wow, what month am I in? At the end of May, and like really didn't like that book. And so this is supposed to be so much better. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. My heart is whole. It's so pretty. Can you see how pretty this is? Where am I gonna fit this on my shelf? That's the question. It's, ooh, even like the naked hardcover is very fancy looking. I'm a happy human. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm so flustered. I didn't expect this, but I so appreciate it. I'm so excited. Thank you so much. Okay, well, my day is made. Okay, I'm fine. I'm just gonna go sit over here and be a smiling, happy mess. I'll talk to you later when I have other things to say, or maybe at the end. Who knows? it's Sunday night at some time Sunday night. But I'm here to wrap up this vlog, tell you kind of what happened this week. I do have a couple of updates for you because I have finished a book since I talked to you last. This weekend was very busy. I know I've mentioned that a few times, but I did finish Come Tumbling Down by Shauna McGuire. This is the 5th in the Wait for Children's series. I ended up giving this one 5 stars. I love this so much. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like very quickly happens all of a sudden, and so it's a lot. I don't know, the way this wraps up makes me think that we're not going to see Jack and Jill again. I think this is the end for them, but I loved getting back in their world. I loved seeing a couple of the characters from the first book show up. I loved seeing a couple of the characters from like the 3rd and the 4th books kind of show up in this one, because the 3rd book takes place both at the home and then also in other worlds, and so Jack wasn't there for that portion of the story, so it's cool to see kind of like the friend group that Jack knew and then the new additions to that friend group within this story. This is definitely significantly darker, but that's mostly because of the fact that it's just Jack and Jill. Their world, which is the Moors, is just a darker world. I think I've said this before, but I like to think of it as a mixture of Frankenstein and Dracula. That's really the best way I can describe it. But there is one more book that's currently out in the series, and then there's at least 3 more that are like she is planning on releasing every like January for the next 3 years. So I'm excited to see what those books are. But this was so much fun. I gave it 5 stars. I love these characters so much. I don't know what to say about it because this one is the 5th in the series, and while I feel like a lot of these can stand on their own, this one cannot. This one relies heavily on what happens in books 1 through 3. Particularly, I would say 1 and 2. 3 just kind of helps out the friend group and some characters that show up that you would have questions about. It was great. 5 stars. I loved it. And then I stopped in the middle of a chapter. Chapter 47 of Akabor, which is, I'm on 448, so just about here, definitely over halfway. I'm not sure I'm 60% of the way through yet, maybe. Definitely loving this. This is just making me so happy. This will be carried into next week. I expect to finish this. I'm going to continue to read some more tonight. I don't think I'm going to finish this tonight. There's still a little too much in this. Plus, I'm just really tired today. My brain is just not here today, and I don't know how I can function or like focus on it, but I do plan on reading a little bit more, not all of it. So this will definitely be finished next week, in the next like few days, beginning of next week. But yeah, that's kind of really where I'm at. I did finish 2 books this week. They're both very tiny, but I have a lot of big things that I was working on and a lot of buddy reads that I did, and like my weekend was filled up. And next week I don't have that, so I expect to get through quite a bunch. I still have like a lot of audiobooks to get through. I have a lot of manga still to get through, so I'm not at all worried in the grand scheme of things. But the first one I finished this week was volume 1 of Witch Hat Atelier, which I gave 4 stars, and this was on my TBR, like my TBR game, but this was also for a book out of your comfort zone, because it's a manga and it's also a fantasy manga. So there's that one. And then Come Tumbling Down by Shauna McGuire, which I gave 5 stars. This one was both in my TBR basket, but also in this readathon for buddy read, which I read with my friend Teresa. So those are the 2 that I finished this week. I have these 2 that I'm still currently reading. I'm almost done with The Evil Queen. Haven't picked it up since the last time I talked to you about it, but I will finish this one on Monday. So this will be like the first thing I finish next week, because there's not that much left of it, and I'm very invested. And I am anticipating a 4.5 or 5 stars, but that's beside the point. And then obviously Akawar. So those are my plans for next week. I'll finish these 2 big chunks of a book. And I finished these 2 this week. So pretty good week, I will say, even though I didn't finish as much as I wanted to. I got quite far in these 2 very large books that are the 2 biggest books on my TBR, and I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to get to Akawar, but I did. So I'm happy about that. I will take it. Next week I expect to finish a lot more things. I'm not home as much, so you probably won't see me very much until the end of the week / the weekend, but we're not really doing anything this weekend. Oh, it's my birthday. next week. Definitely forgot about that. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. So stay tuned for next week where I will finish the 2 chunks. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you've read any of the books that I mentioned. As always, if you're participating in Whateverathon, tell me how you did in the second week. Or if you're not, just tell me something fun that you read this week or something fun bookishly that happened to you. But if you liked this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you want to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media as well as other fun bookish links down there, so don't forget to go check all of those out. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!